Hi, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about functional groups. You're going to need your reference table because we're going to use table R in order to identify functional groups. We're going to do a do now and draw a molecule based on its name. And then we're going to talk about the functional groups, their special properties, and a little bit about their nomenclature. First, I would like you to try to draw the molecule 1-butene. Break down the name, figure out how many carbons it has, what the ending means, and what the number 1 is indicating. So you really need to look at these names as kind of an address. Each part tells you something about the molecule. So the prefix but, if you look up in table P tells you but means 4 carbons, so you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. A Y and E ending tells you the series it's a part of. The homologous series is the alkynes, which always have at least 1 triple bond. The number in the front of the molecule tells you where to put the triple bond. So the number 1 is telling you it has to be on carbon number 1. So if we take a look on carbon number 1, we have a triple bond. You also could have drawn this molecule 180 degrees flipped, meaning that this was carbon number 1. You could have a triple bond here, and then you would fill out the rest of these with hydrogen. This slide right here encompasses the main point of the video. Functional groups are groups of atoms or a different type of atom other than carbon or hydrogen that are attached to the main chain of an organic molecule. The most important part about functional groups that I really want you to take away from this is functional groups change the function of that organic molecule. What I mean by that is they alter the chemical and physical properties of that organic molecule. So functional groups control the chemical and physical properties. That's really the main takeaway of what I would like you to remember about functional groups. Any of you who are going into college or AP Bio over the next couple of years, you're going to see a lot of functional groups. But table R contains your functional groups, and as you can see, there's about 9 of them that we're going to go over. Halides, or group 17, are considered one of the functional groups, so organic molecules with at least 1 atom of a halogen, so group 17, attached to the carbon chain. Halides are formed during addition or substitution reactions, a little more on that later. To name a halide, there's an addition of a prefix based on the halogen present. You can see table R and you'll be given an example of this and what this looks like. But for example, there's also a number that's going to be indicating its location. So for example, 2-iodobutane, this would be a butane chain with an iodine atom on carbon number 2. And just so you can see an example of a halide functional group, so here is 1,2-dichloroethane. So we have ethane, so 2 carbon chain, all single bonds. On carbon number 1 and carbon number 2, we have chlorines. And because there's 2 chlorines, it also has a prefix of di. But if you were asked to identify the functional groups, you would circle the chlorines. Alcohols are organic molecules that contain a hydroxide group, an OH. Alcohols are formed during fermentation. Names end in OL, and there is a number that indicates where the hydroxyl functional group is located in the chain. For example, 2-hexanol. So this would be hexane, so 6 carbon chain. An OL indicates there's an alcohol group on the 2nd carbon. And just for another example, this would be ethanol. And our functional group, if we were to circle it, would be the hydroxyl group. You can have molecules that have multiple hydroxyl groups. Alcohols with only 1 hydroxyl group are called monohydroxy alcohols. Alcohols with 2 hydroxyl groups are called dihydroxy alcohols. And the name would end in diol instead of just OL, di indicating that there's 2 OH groups. And the name will also contain 2 numbers to show the location of both. So for example, 1, 2, so location is on carbon number 1 and carbon number 2. Prop, because we have a 3-carbon chain. Diol, because there's 2 hydroxyl groups. There's also trihydroxy alcohols, which would contain 3 alcohols. Those names are going to end with triol, and the names are going to have 3 numbers to indicate the location of each of those alcohol groups. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, prop and triol. So we have prop, 3 carbons, triol, 3 hydroxyl groups, and 1, 2, 3 because it's on carbon 1, 2, and 3. And just to add on to this, say for example this OH was also on carbon number 1, this would then become 113 propantriol. So you always have 3 numbers, 1 to indicate where each of the OH groups are located. And a little more on alcohols. So in addition to it being possible for organic compounds to have more than 1 alcohol, there's also different classes of alcohols, primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols. This all has to do with the location of the hydroxyl group. So primary alcohols, the hydroxy group's on a terminal carbon or on the end of a chain. Secondary alcohols is on an internal carbon surrounded by 2 carbons. And tertiary alcohols are on an inner carbon, but it has 3 other carbons attached to it. This is more just so that you are aware that this exists, and again, it will help some of you in college courses. Our next type of functional group are ethers. These are organic molecules that have an oxygen atom right in the center of the molecule. Their abbreviation is either O with 2 dashes indicating that there are carbon chains on either end, or sometimes you'll actually see a carbon chain started. The name of the shorter carbon chain gets a YL ending. The longer chain gets also a YL ending. For example, ethyl butyl ether. So ethyl would be the carbon chain on one side of the oxygen, and butyl would be the other carbon chain on the other side of the oxygen. And here is what that would look like. So ethyl, the short carbon chain, butyl, long carbon chain, ether, indicating that there is an oxygen separating those 2 chains. Aldehydes are used a lot in laboratories, but aldehydes contain an oxygen that is double bonded to a terminal carbon. So this is indicated with either C double bond O or CHO. Names are going to end in anal, so ANAL. For example, propanol, which would be a 3-carbon chain with a double bond OH on the very end carbon. Because the aldehyde group is always on the first carbon, there's never a number needed. It has to be on the end of the molecule. And here's another example of a aldehyde. So this is the functional group right here, C double bond OH. And this would be ethanol, Eth because there's 2 carbons, anol because there's a double bond O with an H on the terminal carbon. Ketones are very similar to aldehydes, also commonly used in organic laboratories, but these have a double bond O on the internal carbon. So instead of the very end of the molecule, this is a double bonded oxygen on the inside of the chain. Names are going to end in ANONE. So for example, 2-pentanone would be an example of the name. We include numbers because we need to know which internal carbon has the double bond O. And here's another example. This is butanone. So we have 4-carbon chain for but. Unknown indicating that there is a double bond O, and this C double bond O would be your ketone, your functional group. Organic acids we saw before in our acids and bases unit. Organic molecules that contain a oxygen that is double bonded to the terminal carbon with a hydroxide, so that COOH or COO is our organic acid. Hopefully you remember this, COOH. But names will end in enoic acid, for example, ethanoic acid. And again, this is any acid that ends with COOH. So you're looking for a carbon and hydrogen-based molecule that has the COOH ending, or a C double bond OH at the end of the drawing. Esters. These are organic molecules that contain an oxygen that is double bonded to the carbon that also has a single bonded oxygen in the center of 2 carbon chains. These are the abbreviations for esters. Oops, there we go. C double bond OO, or sometimes it's COOC. Esters are formed during a process called esterification. More on that later. Esters are fragrances, so things that smell like vanilla, orange, perfumes, all those are esters. So esters are primarily used in fragrance industry to make basically fake fragrance smells. And here's what an ester would look like. So you would have a carbon chain on this side, a carbon chain on the other side with a C double bond O and a C single bonded O in the center. And this is your functional group right here. Here's our second to last functional group. Amines have a nitrogen atom attached to the carbon chain. Amines, just like alcohols, have primary, secondary, and tertiary amines. I'm not going to go over it with amines because it's not as prevalent or relevant to the immediate classes you're going to take. But if you see a nitrogen in the molecule, think amine. And lastly, there's also amides. Amides also contain that nitrogen group on a terminal carbon, but there's also a double bonded oxygen, like so. So you would see a carbon chain represented by R, C double bond O with a nitrogen. It might be attached to another carbon chain or a hydrogen. That's all I have for you today. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great day.